Okay, welcome back to the Oscar Countdown 2018. We're talking about the surprise nominee this year, Get Out. Um, I was really surprised that this got nominated, honestly, for Best Picture. Not saying it's a bad movie or anything, it's just, I was like, usually it's a horror movie, and the only horror movie I can recall being nominated for Best Picture, and it actually won it, was Silence of the Lambs. But other than that, I don't recall any horror movie being even nominated. Um, I can't think of any. I mean, there might be a few, but I doubt it. Um, so this movie is made by Jordan Peele, most famous for his Key and Peele um, a little sketch comedy show. Really funny show. This is completely different than that because that's a really funny show, and this is a serious dramatic horror movie. Um, and I did like this movie. I thought it was done very well. Um, the characters in the movie. Well, let's start with the story. So it was nominated for best screenplay, and I think it was a good nomination. I don't know if it'll win, but original and the structure is very good because um, lost my train of thought. Anyways, so it's original and it what's the word I'm looking? Um, I guess just the structure of the story because it starts off kind of slow throughout the movie, um, and it doesn't really feel like a horror movie at first. I mean, there's really not that much horror to it. There's like, it's a mystery, kind of, but at first it's just kind of, things are a little weird, whatever, and then things start getting weirder until the actual horror begins later on. And I love how it's done like that because the first little bit of the movie, I wouldn't say is fantastic, entertaining, just great movie. It's good, it's interesting, it's whatever. Um, and then the first time I watched it several months ago, it's like what is happening here? It's You're very interested to see what is happening, um, and so that's why you keep watching it. But in the beginning, I want to say it's a great movie. At the moment, you're just okay. Let's see where this is going, and then the ending of the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it reveals everything, and that's when everything comes together, and it really gets very good. So I appreciate how the movie takes its time to set up the story, and it's very slow paced, and so that way when the ending comes, the ending is great. So, but anyways, if you don't know what the story's about, basically, it's this black guy dating this white girl, and they go to visit her parents, and he's nervous, kind of like almost like a guess who's coming to dinner. He's nervous about if they're gonna not like him because he's black, and then he gets there, and they seem like nice people, but things are kind of weird, and he's kind of trying to figure out what's going on there. So, very, I think it well deserved nomination. I don't know if it'll win, but nice to be nominated. So now the characters in the movie, the black guy, the main character his name's Chris. That's my name. Um, Played by is it something Daniel Cool something Coulier. I feel like it's Daniel. Might not be at all. But his last name's Coulier. Probably didn't pronounce it right. But when I heard he got nominated for Best Actor at first, I was very confused. I was like, I don't remember him being all that great. And then as I watched it again, I was kind of thinking that at the for the like beginning of the movie, and then I realized actually this is one of the better performances I've seen in a long time, because the way he acts, the acting and just the character is very realistic in my opinion. I feel like a lot of movies today, all the characters are kind of almost the same. They're very loud and energetic, and they're very quippy. Then they make little quick quips and jokes, and um, they kind of have a very similar character to like them. Now you see that in this movie too. The TSA friend, who's not a huge part of the movie until like later. He's kind of more of the typical character you see in Hollywood movies nowadays. But what I loved about his performance was it was so subtle. It was more. It was kind of like the like Casey Affleck last year in um, uh, Manchester by the Sea, where there's no scenes where he's like yelling and has those big acting moments. It's just very subtle, and the way he acts is he doesn't have a ton of dialogue, and when he does, it's very short lines and stuff. Um, he does most of his acting with his face and his body language, and I feel like that. I mean, I feel like he does a great job with that, and I actually kind of hope he wins at this point, because I really appreciate like the subtlety in his performance, and the character was very well written, because I feel like if I was in a situation, that's how I'd act. The character's kind of knows the awkwardness of some of the situations, like he's meeting his girlfriend's parents, and like I said, there's the race thing, very like uncomfortable type things, and I feel like he says some of the things he says is kind of stuff I say. Like they try to talk to you and like say things, and you just kind of like, yeah, mm-hmm, you know. So it felt very realistic. All the other performances are like good. Some of them are kind of over the top, um, but they're good too. Um, and the girl who plays the girlfriend, I don't know her name, but she does a good job too. Because at first she seems normal, and then um, she's able to act crazy later on. I don't know if that's a spoiler. Anyways, um, and so it was nominated for screenplay, actor, and then director for Jordan Peele. Um, I I don't think he'll win Best Director, but I think the nomination is pretty good, because I feel like the tone of this movie is perfect. I wouldn't like if I was directing it. I feel like this is how I would want this movie to be. Um, this tone and this um, just everything. Nothing about it feels out of place or wrong. I felt like he knows exactly like what needs to be done there, and everything. Uh, you know, so good direction, I guess. Directing, it's something I feel like I notice it, but I don't know how to put it into words, or describe it, or pinpoint exactly what made the direction good. But you can tell it was good. Um, so that was all the things it was nominated for. No technical awards. Um, I mean, the technicals of the movie, like the cinematography, editing, effects, everything's good. Um, there's nothing amazing in it. It works for the story, which means it's good. Um, so all that's good. And the horror in the movie, it's not a scary movie at all. Um, I wouldn't even say it almost doesn't even feel like a horror movie. And personally, I don't think horror movies need to be like terrifying, all the time. Like and jump scares. I don't just because a movie has a lot of jump scares. I don't say it's scary. So that's not why I'm saying this isn't scary or anything. It's just I don't know. It's just not. Um, you know. Uh, but there is something very unsettling about when he's in that room at the end. That is a little creepy. Just something about it. I don't know what it is. The set, the the tone of it, it's just, yeah. But other than that, the movie's, you know, eh, when it comes to the horror element. Um, but yeah, it was entertaining. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite movie ever. I think it was done well. I mean, I guess it has a message about race, which I don't want to go into all that, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not black, so I can't really um, identify with what they're talking about. But to me, it didn't feel like it was really all about race. I mean, it's a big thing in the movie, but it doesn't feel like it's all like, oh, this, white people are bad or black people are bad or anything like that. I feel like it was just part of the story, and it was um I can't go into what I mean by that without explaining the end. But um so I'll go into spoilers real fast, but so at the end, they find out they're taking these black people and they're putting their brains into them so they can, for whatever reason they want to be stronger or more athletic or cooler or just like the guy at the end. I mean, he even says, he's like, I don't care what race you are, I just want your eyes to be able to see because I'm blind. So to me, I mean, I think there's definitely something about race about the movie, but to me it was just like they're just doing this to anybody. Um, I mean, they could do it to anyone, so I don't know. But I think the point of it was, which I didn't really get it from me watching it, but I think the point was black people. I mean, white people have benefited from black people, like slavery and stuff. Which yeah, it's true, but I mean, what do you get? Yeah, slavery happened. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. But I mean, but the thing is, you can watch this movie and see it however you want, and you know, so that's good. So solid movie, enjoyed it, um, and that's all I gotta say about that.